Megyn Kelly opens up for the first time about being sexually harassed by her then boss, former Fox News CEO Roger Ailes. It's the #1 tracking story today.
And despite the 76-year-old denying Kelly's claims, Megyn sits down with Dr. Phil about the problems she says she encountered with the man she once called her mentor.
My problems with Roger began when I was at the company for 12 months. So I was a first-year reporter. And I was called up to New York. But the problem with that meeting, and with several that happened over the next 6 months, was not only was there legitimate professional advice, but there were grossly inappropriate comments.
In her first on-camera interview while promoting her new book, Fox News star Megyn Kelly takes Dr. Phil inside her at times uncomfortable work relationship with now ex-boss Roger Ailes.
This was specific comments about my body, how he wanted to see me, and it grew more severe over time.
Give me an example.
Well, like he said, he knew I must have some very sexy bras, and he'd like to see me in them. I'm not looking to be salacious, and trust me, this isn't pleasant for me to discuss. But I want people to understand this was real. He did do this, and I was far from the only one.
In fact, more than 24 women who've worked for Ailes have described uncomfortable encounters. But for Kelly, it's going to be a tougher pill to swallow, given that she's described Ailes in nothing but glowing terms, including right here on The Insider back in February 2015.
I think my boss, Roger Ailes, who's been a huge mentor of mine, I mean, I just could not believe in him more, and I hope it's mutual. But he's got a flair about him, you know? He's dynamic, he's funny, he's clever.
And 8 months later, she went even further, showering Ailes with praise on Charlie Rose.
He's absolutely a mentor to me. He's also a friend. I depend on him for friendship and sane, honest advice. He just has this sort of X-ray vision into your soul, and he has a way of knowing what you need. If you need to be built up, he can do that. If you need to be, checked on your ego, he can do that. And he's been nothing but good to me.
When you feel shame, your tendency is to dissociate or dismiss what actually happened.
Our insider psychotherapist Lynn Yanni, who doesn't know Megyn, says even though she's painted in the past a polar opposite picture of Ailes, she's not at all surprised to hear her thoughts on him now.
It's actually quite consistent with people who have experienced some form of sexual harassment or sexual abuse. And then later, with some time or some support or some perspective, it's a little bit easier to be able to identify what happened and to start to talk about it when you feel safer.